Everybody, welcome to the show. I am so stoked for today's guest. He is a new friend of mine. He's a fucking rager. Love this dude so much. He's silly. He's fun. He's a party animal. He is a DJ that has released music and made music with everybody from Skrillex to Diplo to everybody in between. Valentino Khan. If you guys are into house music or party music or EDM, you might have heard of songs Deep Down Low or Your Body, which he made with Nitty Gritty, another homie of homies. And he's the man, dude. He's cool dude. We talked a lot about music, about how he came up as a DJ, all the similarities between stand-up and being a DJ, or a stand-up comedian and being a DJ. We all know that I want to be a DJ, so I learned a lot on how to transition my career into being a DJ. Valentino's great. You guys are going to love this episode, which is brought to you by Magnesium Breakthrough from Bioptimizers. Get a special discount and a special gift when you order today at magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella. Magnesium is, my favorite thing about it, and I know this sounds like an ad read, and that's because it fucking is an ad read, but it's also real, because I wouldn't be saying some bullshit to you, so I just want you to keep that in mind. But it's true, dude. I take these after a workout. After every workout. They're anti-inflammatory. They help with not protein synthesis. What was the other one? Some type of blood flow thing. I don't know, but you can find out at magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella, because I can't remember what all the good fun things are that magnesium does, but I know that it does that because I can feel it in my body. Okay, magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella. Go learn about all the benefits that you can get from supplementing your diet with magnesium, which you're likely not getting enough of from your food. Go check it out. All right, let's get into this, dude. Valentino's the man, bro. We had fun, and after this episode, we went and shot around a little bit, and he's got a jump shot. Valentino can hoop, dude. He's got a little J, dude. He's got some good form, dude. Not only does he have a great stash, he has a great jump shot. Okay, he can drop the bass and he can drop a swish. Everybody, please enjoy this episode with the homie Valentino Khan. Okay, cool. Do you do anything on the road to stay healthy? Do you bring supplements with you or anything?
No, I started taking that liquid IV shit.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's nothing complicated. It's sort of what you put in this water. No one can tell, but like this water is just not just water.
It's Molly.
Yeah. That's how I feel better. It's my only source of dopamine, actually.
Copious amounts of illegal drugs.
It's how I cope with the world. The only thing I do is I definitely stretch before I DJ.
Nice.
Because I move around a lot, probably more compared to a lot of other people.
You get physical, which I love.
I do get physical
because it makes me stoked when I'm watching you.
Honestly, that's always been my kind of mantra. Is if I'm having fun, then everybody else is gonna be having fun. So,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, because I love seeing DJs. I mean, I want to be a DJ more than anything in the world, dude. I would love to be a DJ.
I saw you DJing on your fun. You were DJing on your crystals.
I practice on my Himalayan salt lamp sometimes. Yeah. I have a bop it in the closet. So sometimes
I remember
I'll just
bop it.
Fucking like twist and turn and pull as if I'm pulling knobs and levers.
Crystals it's like the gateway to vibes. I don't know if you know.
I think so. Yeah, I felt pretty vibey last night when I was DJing great. On my counter. Yeah. Because I'll go on the road for like 2 weeks at a time, and I'll come back and just be violently sick for like one day. I'll have some weird
violently sick, like
like I'm in bed and can't move.
Oh, okay.
Like that, not like throwing up
and
punching people,
but
just,
I think they just call that tired.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I get tired, but it's just like that. It's like that thing. You're in the middle of, you go to Florida, to Ohio, to Chicago, to wherever, and I always I bring a lot of zinc with me.
I was like telling this to my doctor today because I just had a follow-up appointment after because I had COVID.
Did you have it twice, or did you have it once and it got bad?
I had it once. I do know some people that had it twice, and I'm just like, wow, you're really unlucky.
Yeah.
But no, and I was like, explaining my travel regimen to him, like, so I'm in this city this night, and the next time I'm in this city, then the next night, and he's like, he was being polite about it. He was kind of like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you putting your body through this? And I'm like, I don't know.
Because I like to party.
Yeah.
Because I like to party. When did you start DJing? When did you start playing? Producing? Did you start producing?
I started producing first. So I started out as just like a hip hop producer, just making rap beats, just like in my bedroom. My first placement I got was a song with T.I. and 2 Chainz on it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
What was it?
It was on a mixtape that T.I. had done called "Fuck the City Up."
Nice.
And the song was called "Loudmouth."
Okay.
And it was like, this was like probably, I think it came out on New Year's going into 2012. And then at the same time, I kind of discovered dance music. My brother had shown me. I kept like passing by his room, and he was listening to like European house music for some reason. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, but I'm gonna still listen to Dr. Dre or whatever.
Yeah.
At the time, whoever was cool at the time, maybe The Game or something.
The Game's
still fire though.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say at the time because he actually is very underrated.
Yeah.
And then one day I passed by. He's playing a song called "Waters of Nazareth" by Justice. And I said, what the fuck is that? Give me that. Started listening to it. Then I was like, oh, the way you really like have a career at this is if you learn how to DJ. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, I guess I'm going to learn how to DJ. I never had an intention of touring, traveling the world. I mean, traveling the world at my leisure, maybe eventually, but like never had an intention of like just being on a metal tube constantly and like flying through the air. And I put it kind of like depressingly, but no,
dude, I swear to God, when I'm on a plane fun. Sometimes that's exactly what I think. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in a tube for 6 hours. I'm just gonna sit and let the world move me. Yeah,
it reminds me of like before I used to like tour with a tour manager, and I would just like at the beginning, I don't know how the fuck I did it. I was just like going solo place to place.
Yeah,
and I remember you've seen American Sniper, right?
Yeah.
You see where this is kind of maybe going, but like I remember it was a trip to Australia, so I was watching that on the way back, and then I like landed, and I really related to the part of when Bradley Cooper gets home from war, and then he just goes to a fucking bar, and then it's his wife calls him like, "Hey baby, you gonna come home?" And he's just like, "Yep."
Yeah.
Just like he's kind of just like, I just fucking. I need a minute. Yeah. It was very dramatic of me because I just fucking DJ, but like I was like really relating to that. I was like,
but it's more like somebody said this once. I forget who. Somebody genius, like Dave Chappelle or somebody. They were like, they don't pay you to do the show. They pay you to travel. What they're paying you for is all the bullshit. The show is fun.
In a way, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're right. It's you're right. If I think about it, and it was really hammered home during like, the lockdown and all that, when I was like, nobody was doing anything, nobody could travel, work, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, man, it really like made me grateful. Like I get paid to just have fucking fun up there. Yeah. Like, and not just that I get to have fun. Like I get to like put smiles on people's faces.
Yeah.
Which, if you're watching, that is kind of what I do.
That's the goal. That's the goal, baby. That's the whole goal. So you walked by your brother's room. He's playing this Justice song.
Yeah.
You fell in love with it.
Yeah.
You started did you just get a deck and start messing around on your own?
I took one lesson from some guy in like Glendale.
Hilarious.
And he was trying to tell me how like, it was like, bro, if you play this one trance song, it gets all the girls wet. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's really what he told me. But
how'd you find this guy?
I don't know.
Craigslist?
No, it was like some guy that worked at a fucking like a DJ equipment store, and they were offering lessons. That's so there.
Funny.
So I just took like one of those lessons, and I was like, yeah, there's not much for me to like learn that I can't like learn on my own.
Right.
And then I just I used to play with a controller when I first started out, and then I was just like, I just want to show up with a USB stick.
What's the difference now?
So a controller, for those that don't know, a controller is like you actually like have to lug around like this like semi like solid piece of equipment. It's like probably this big.
Yeah, it's like 2 feet by 3 feet.
And you bring a laptop too, and then the problem with that is if that breaks or like the laptop breaks, there's just so many more moving parts where like it's just so much more like.
Because I saw Henry up in at San Francisco. I went to his show, and he had one USB and then 2 backups.
Yeah.
Just in case.
You should keep it back.
And he just plugged in and went for it. So the USB holds like a huge catalog of music.
You just plug it into the.
And then you just kind of freestyle and choose what to play. And
you'll set like the way it works is you'll set like cue points of like how music is a lot about math, so it's like counting bars and beats. So you like break down a song where you want to mix it, and that helps you a lot. I have a really like photographic memory of like how a song is structured. So I was like, all right, there's an 8-bar intro.
Right, 8 4 6 6 4 8.
This is like exactly.
I get that. Yeah, for sure.
Just shouting out
because I've done
numbers,
that. I do that when I've done like music parody stuff or like any Eminem impressions or stuff like that. I gotta like break down his bars and see how many I need to fit before the 16th.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
The hook drops and there's a chorus, pre-chorus, hook. So that's cool, dude. Yeah, I love that. Now, was that college age? Because you grew up in LA.
Yeah, that was like around that time, and then I basically just dove into music, and I was just like, this is, I don't know. I think when you see that you have a talent at something and,
and you really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say the old adage, like, if you find something you love, you won't work a day in your life. So it's like, I mean, there are times where it feels like, it does feel like work, but it's fun work. It's work that I enjoy. And like, you have to like embrace the challenge of it all at the end of the day and just be like, and be grateful. Like, I would way rather be doing this than a 9-to-5.
Oh, 100%.
I'm my own boss. I don't have to answer to anybody, which is nice too. It's just
technically you have a 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. So
yeah, that's I get the
opposite now.
I get roasted all the time for my sleep schedule. It's not much of a roast, but it's more
when
of a criticism.
Do you sleep, bro?
5 a.m.
5 a.m. right? And then you come back like during weekdays because do you kind of keep the same schedule? Or do you ever find some type of flow?
It's all sorts of fucked up. I'm trying to get better. I really think like, I don't have like a wife or kids yet, but I think like that's the thing that'll eventually change me. Where I'm like, okay, there's some shit that's bigger than
there's
me.
People relying
there's
on
people
my life.
relying on me.
Yeah.
Which, like people directly relying on me, I guess.
Yeah. I feel that. Yeah, because I'll get home after a show and it'll be like 2 a.m. and then I'm screwed. Yeah, for like the week.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you get like any sort of you probably do get some sort of adrenaline rush.
Oh, dude, after a good show, it's the only comparable thing is drugs. The only comparable. Thing. It is the highest of high. So happy and elated, like just a different perspective toward everything that's going on.
Yeah, and then you can't sleep, and then because of the adrenaline a little bit, and then sometimes you have a really early flight, and then sometimes you're really hungry after that because you expend a lot of energy.
Dude, that's the craziest thing is when you get hungry after.
Because the problem is too, it's like what's open at like 3 a.m.
and then you got to eat Wendy's
or McDonald's
or some gross shit. Yeah, and I hate that. I usually just don't eat, and I'll consider it like a fast.
Yeah.
But then if I'm going out and I'm drinking, that's where the balance comes in. Because I try not to. I'm not a huge drinker. Mm-hmm. Like on the road by myself, I won't really go out to bars or anything. But in town, or if I'm in like a city where I have a bunch of friends, and they'll all want to go out after, it's you
don't have to rationalize having fun.
I know. I'm trying to make my body feel better because my body's like, hey, bro, fuck you, dude. We have heartburn going on now every day. But it's fine. Okay, so you dove out of. Did you dive out of hip hop, or did you start?
I still produce like rap records
hip-hop?
too. It's just like the artist side of my career is really like just come to the forefront, and it's going great, and it's taken up a lot of my time. And but I mean, I've done so. I did like the most recent thing I did with like was a song with like Young Gravy and Lil Wayne.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then before that, I did that. I don't know if you saw like the Deadpool 2 soundtrack.
Are you on that?
Yeah, like the main like Welcome to the Party song. It's like me and Diplo.
Oh, I knew Diplo was on it. Okay, that's sick. Fuck yeah.
So
very
like,
cool. And then I saw the Alice in Wonderland track, Anything. Which I love that song.
Yeah, so it's like I have a little bit of a balance between both, and I can still produce records that like, God forbid if like DJing just became illegal tomorrow, I could survive.
Or if you broke all your fingers. Well, I guess you wouldn't be able to produce then.
Is that a threat?
Yeah.
I don't know. It could happen anytime.
It could happen anytime. You break all your fingers right here on the table, dude.
Say the wrong thing on this podcast.
Just be careful, dude.
Yeah, okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So you what was the process like between like starting to produce EDM music at that moment? Like, how did you find yourself into a world where you're now getting booked and touring?
Yeah, well,
because you were just a guy that liked music.
Yeah,
right?
And that's I think how it should start and does start for like pretty much everybody. So at the beginning, because I was just like making rap beats, my brother was like more educated into the music, so like I would like just show him like attempts at making dance music, and I'd be like, "Is this it?" And he's like, kinda, but then like I didn't understand the concept of like there is a build up and then a drop. I was just making like loops, like, oh, this is when the drums come, because it was very like just like older hip hop mentality of like, oh, this is where the drums come in, then this is where the horns come in, then like a piano comes in here, like it's very like very rigid and loop based, whereas like dance music, it does have structure to it, but you have to understand that like structure. And sometimes now it's like people doing all sorts of things that go outside of that structure where you're just like, and then how I'm starting to get booked is I just put my music on the internet.
Did something pop Like, was there a first pop for you where something went viral, or was it like a slow build?
It was definitely a slow build. And I think I kind of make a little bit of everything in every genre. So I think a lot of times it was hard for like promoters and people to book a new artist it's just like, you're, like, what are you? Are you like making this genre? Are you making that genre? I mean, if there was any like record that really like took me to like, okay, you're steady touring and starting to make like good money is like the Deep Down Low record it did.
Yeah, which I come up to on stage now.
Oh, that's amazing.
Did you see that clip?
I saw a video. Yeah. That's amazing.
Dude, it was so fun. It was in Sacramento, and I did like a video intro as Gavin Newsom, and then Deep Down Low starts playing. And I'm trying to incorporate more visuals into my live stand-up show, a lot of which is inspired by going to EDM music festivals and concerts over the years. So I had this whole backdrop. It was like a psychedelic tunnel type thing blasted on the screen. The music was blasting. And I saw as I was walking up, people were like vibing to the shit. Like no one was clapping. Everybody was like, woo!
Yeah, there you go.
Like with their hands up. It felt like I was at a festival when I walked up on the stage. I mean, granted, there were only 200 people in the room, but it was a packed house for a comedy club.
No,
so
of course.
Trying to create that type of vibe is really cool because I love that atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's such a fun atmosphere.
Yeah, I think I was kind of alluding to it earlier. It's like when you're doing it every night, you kind of like lose perspective on like, yo, there's especially when you're playing like those large festivals like the Insomniac festivals or something. Like, it's like they really do it on like a large scale. Like I think I really got perspective of like how much goes into that one. I did like a charity helicopter ride one year at like the EDC thing. So like you'd auction and like you'd win. And these two women won, and they were like, oh, our daughters are at EDC right now. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. And then I'm like in this helicopter and like flying over there, and the guy that was on like the headset was like saying like, yeah, like we spent like this $1 million on this stage and like this $1 million on like,
oh my God,
fireworks and shit. And I'm like, there's so much planning and preparation that goes into that stuff. And it's like, it's very, I mean, you definitely appreciate it, but you don't see it when you're just getting in and out there, you know?
Did you ever go to festivals growing up?
No, because that's the thing is I just was I was just like a rap kid. I would just listen to like rap. I should take that back though, because like I listen to a wide range of music, especially because when I first started making music, I didn't know how to play piano or anything. So like I'd like look up like, oh, who did Kanye West sample? Oh, who did the Wu-Tang Clan sample? Oh, is this Gladys Knight? Whatever. Download all this stuff, and then basically from there on out, I was just like, I gained this weird knowledge of like, you know, old soul music, and then like even like obscure Italian film scores, like shit
cool.
like that, where you're like, yo, they sampled some because they were just digging for the weirdest records that like nobody had sampled yet. You know what I mean? So and
you were a student. You were studying.
But yeah, pretty much
without knowing it, probably because you were just having fun.
I mean, I definitely did like I did realize I was studying in a way, but like I a lot of it, like, you just don't know how to like actually execute. Yeah. And you're just like, oh, that's when they make it sound like that. That's the way you make something sound sad, or like, sure. Or like, that's the way you make something sound like a horror movie score. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It was definitely, it gave me an appreciation for all sorts of music though. Like 80s music and just everything, like literally everything. So, I forgot.
And then at what point did you start playing piano?
Well, because then that was the thing is I would have days where I'd be like, oh, I can't make music because I'm so dependent on finding samples, and I ran out of samples. Right. So that I was like, I saw at the time what like, you know, the Neptunes were doing, like Scott Storch were doing, and even what Dr. Dre was doing, bringing like live, you know, studio musicians into the studio. And I'm like, if I can just learn how to play piano, then I don't need to rely on this stuff to make music. And then, I just slowly learned. I'm not like Mozart. I can't play Mozart or anything.
Were
like
you kind
that.
of self-taught?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
completely,
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And like pretty much everything, like, I've definitely had people help me along the way. Sure. Give me little tips and stuff here and there. But like, for the most part, self-taught with everything. And I think that like any success that I have, it becomes like a little bit sweeter. Yeah. Just because like nobody can take that away from me. I know the amount of work I put into getting to, where I am and just the level I am as a musician,
Yeah.
And
what about the level that you were at when you started? Because what I'm curious about is like for comedy, doing stand up, you got to do tons of trash shows where no one knows who you are.
You're just getting heckled.
You're in a bar in fucking Fresno on a Tuesday night. No one wants you to be there. Everybody is there to drink beer and watch football and talk to each other, and you're up there trying to tell jokes. And it like there's years of
it's almost
that,
like an open mic setting.
Yeah, it's almost like an open mic, and then there's like indie shows where no one knows who anybody is. No one really gives a fuck about you. Is there what's the equivalent of that in the DJ world? Like, did you do solo shows in your early stages that were kind of trash?
Yeah.
Just for practice?
I wouldn't. Yeah.
Not trash. When I say trash,
no,
I mean you know what I mean.
No,
like,
I get you. No, that like we're
small venues.
Right now, like
not a lot of people.
That or like if you did it now, you'd be like, what is this? Is
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Because we grow.
Yeah.
But I always find that there's so many parallels between like doing stand up and DJing. Granted, I would say like doing stand up, I feel like is way more difficult just because in the sense that like if you fuck up when you're DJing. Like it's so easy. I fucked up before. I hit the wrong button before, and then I'm like, you just gotta. It's easy to play it off and just act like it was a rewind. You just be like, hold up, y'all are not ready for this shit. I did that shit intentionally,
and everybody's like, oh, he's fucking with us, dude.
But then you fuck up. You fuck up on a bit. Or like you even fuck up one word. That's that's like
if you stumble,
the punchline of your bit. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh man, I just wasted like 10 minutes.
No, the energy gets sucked out of the room, dude.
Yeah. And then and it's hard to recover. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how you play that off. I think you
tough.
You gotta
you gotta
laugh
learn.
at yourself.
You gotta get thick skin, and you gotta
Yeah.
figure out a way to make fun of yourself immediately.
Yeah, you have to immediately. I think acknowledge your fuck up and laugh at it.
Yeah, but there's also no like distraction when that happens in stand up, whereas
people are like if I'm playing a show, like I don't know, like
people got friends, there's
like,
fog, there's
like,
smoke and lasers.
Half people could be drunk there,
Yeah.
Like, huh? Did he mess? I don't know.
Whatever. That was a cool instrument.
Yeah,
what's next?
exactly.
Who's on the main stage?
Oh,
but
yeah, it's very unorthodox.
Yeah. But so what were those early shows like? Were they like you had to invite all your friends just so you could get some stage time, or
not really? In LA, like I always make a joke. Actually, even now, like I don't get nervous for any show ever. The only time I ever get a little bit nervous is Los Angeles shows, just because it's all like friends and family and like you're making sure they're getting on the guest list and shit.
Yeah,
which they are, but
that's
like
funny.
You're just like, yo, you good? Yo, you good?
Yeah,
pretty much all of that shit. And then people hitting you up last minute. I'm like, dude, this shit's been on sale for like.
I know. It's been on sale for months, dude. Yeah. I announced this in January.
But whatever. It happens. I understand. I don't think I've ever really been that guy. Maybe I've done that if I've happened to be in the city with someone else, or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or I'll be like, who's the person I can talk to that's not you, so I don't annoy you. Right. Because you're actually like trying to, I don't know.
I feel it. Yeah, I just tell all my friends to buy tickets now still. Because I'm not once I'm doing like weekends at these clubs. Right now I'm still they're just giving me one nighters as like a prove yourself moment, which doesn't really make sense because nobody wants to go out on a Tuesday night, so you're not going to sell tickets anyways.
Yeah,
but that's a whole other issue. But once I get in, like for the bigger things, I definitely would love to be able to hook up the boys. Yeah, that's a fun thing.
No, of course, and I think it's another parallel where like sometimes it is fun playing those smaller rooms too, because even as like a DJ, it's just like it's more of an intimate connection with the crowd where like what's the biggest crowd you played for, you think? Like,
dude, the biggest crowd was 1,200 on a cruise ship.
Oh, okay, word.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah,
it was wild in a comedy club. Because comedy is better if it's smaller. Yeah. Like 300 is kind of the max.
Some people like just shot their specials at like a more intimate venue.
Yeah, even 50 sounds great if it's a super tightly packed room. Stadiums are like the worst for comedy.
Yeah.
They're the fucking best for a huge visual show.
Best for like making money, I'm sure.
Best for making money. Yeah, I mean, Drake kills it.
Yeah, like fucking Kevin Hart doing like a stadium size venue.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to do that.
No, of course.
That's kind of like with my show, I'm doing characters and visual bits, And I already have a moment in my set where I'm like, fuck, I wish I had some smoke cannons right now, dude.
Yeah.
Or some fire. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I just want fire at my shit. But we'll get there.
Yeah.
You know, you got fire now.
I do.
What's it like having fire when you're performing? That is so crazy.
It makes for great pictures, I gotta say.
It does. It really does.
I don't know if you've ever taken a picture of like a flame shooting up. You look so cool. Like, honestly, that's the best part. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff. It's actually funny because now I see with like the CO2 cannons, like the smoke cannons you were referring to. I see like rappers using it now because I see like Travis Scott use it and shit, and it's like it's really interesting of like how people are just like, oh wow, it just adds so much to the show, even though it's like that's not what like real DJing is about, but it's like, I don't know, it's a spectacle.
Do you see DJing as evolved over the years? Because like now you have for Vegas, for example, if you're not like an A-list headlining dude, you're not really doing the pool party. If you're not doing like a big show, if it's not like a big thing, I feel like you're not really doing Omnia on a Saturday night, right? And so do you see, and that's just my perspective as a rando, but how do you see it having evolved into this point where now DJs are incorporating so much visual stuff and it's more of a performance?
I think when I first got into it, like dance music was kind of a niche thing, especially when it first hit America. It was like it was a lot of like European dudes, a lot of French dudes that were like it was this very new like punk rock thing. There actually used to be like these parties, and there was this photographer like Cobra Snake, and he would go there and just snap these really like very overexposed like but dope pictures of like the party scene around there, and it would always be like Lindsay Lohan, like Paris Hilton over there, and like Steve Aoki was like just coming up at the time, and shit, like those kind of parties, and like it was this very like kind of underground thing where you're like, oh, this is like, it was very like hipster. Now it's like very it's evolved into a place where it's mainstream, and I know like people don't like that, but it's like, well, you know, if it stayed this underground thing, like none of us would be able to make a living off of this or like just grow. So I mean, like I think there's something in it for everyone. It depends on like, you know, where you are, what your scene is, and I think it's grown over time just because people, you know, the more it just becomes a bigger business, people are like, okay, how do I level up? How do I just go bigger? And then in certain senses, it's like it becomes a pissing contest.
Sure. But I feel like the growth of any small niche thing into something that's mainstream should be seen way more as like a positive than a negative because of the amount of people that it's reaching now.
Well, yeah.
Right.
The problem is I think there's a certain segment of people who feel very attached to an artist. And I think it just shouldn't be anybody's identity to be like, I know about this person and you don't, and that's what makes me cool. It's
right.
Like,
it's
no.
like a
it was hipsterism. It is.
Hipsterism, yeah. But it's this weird sense of ownership.
Yeah. But it's like, if you really care about the artist, like you should be rooting for their successes, as long as they're still making music that you feel like, you know, suits your earbuds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But I think that's a problem that like certain people have encountered. I haven't really encountered that. I think it's because also like it's just been a slow build for me, like I was saying. So yeah.
Yeah, when the build is slow, I think it's better. I used to want to be famous when I was in my early 20s. I was like, dude, by the time I'm 26, 27, bro, I'm gonna be Zac fucking Efron. Yeah, I swear to God.
This was Zac Efron the bar.
It was like that type of fame.
Yeah.
I want to be like Bieber level, have everybody know who I am. Oh my God, funniest guy. I'm gonna be this and this. I'm gonna be funny.
What changed?
I realized that would have been awful.
Yeah. I never want to be
quick.
that level of famous.
Right.
You can't take a shit.
I might try it on for a day, but only if I have the option to turn it off.
Oh yeah, that's the best. Yeah.
But like also there's something to say about that, about some like Bieber level fame, because it's how many people has he actually impacted in like a really good way?
Oh no,
you know what
sure.
I mean? Like, but for himself, he's probably so annoyed to see somebody outside.
I've
his front
definitely
door
seen videos of him like when he gets back to his hotel and he's just like trying to calmly, because he's also still being filmed, so you can't like
always
flip out,
right?
And then he's trying to calmly tell people like, hey, or it's like his apartment where he's staying at the moment. He's like, hey guys, like I appreciate it, but like this is where I live.
Yeah,
and, like, I just like maybe just don't come here.
That's got to be. He's got to.
And you have to have so much restraint. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's got to be. You know what? I bet
Yeah.
it's some type of like weird like meditative thing that you have to slip into whenever you say that to somebody? Because you got to kind of go numb.
It definitely takes practice to be able to make your point directly to somebody and like firmly to somebody.
Yeah.
But do it in a very tactful way where you're not like
condescending or
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. That level of fame, I don't like. I've seen people get really big really quick. Even a couple friends of mine, and just kind of turn into not nice people.
I think it can bring the worst out of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, I think a lot of people aren't like socially equipped to deal with those kinds of situations, and you got to like really think like, you know, like you just got to take a step back and realize what's important, and you have to kind of have empathy for like how the other person is thinking or feeling at the time. Sometimes like. Maybe if they're acting a little extra, it's just because they're really excited, and they don't know how to express that to you.
Right.
And then if you're someone that's very, you know, not socially equipped to deal with that, that could be very overwhelming for you. And then you're just like, fuck. You react in one of two ways: either you just like run away and get closed up, or you're like really aggro and be like, you just turn into a dick. So I think like hopefully there's a happy medium in the middle of that where you can just be like, you know, nice to people
and not being bugged outside of your apartment at 2 a.m.
But you still have a right to your limits, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
People should be showing up where you live.
Yeah, totally. What? So I want to go back to the fire because
that's what we're really here
so
for.
Fun.
Yes,
I only want to talk about the fire.
Yeah.
Do you when the fire? Let me ask you this, bro.
Okay.
When the fucking fire goes off on a drop,
Yeah.
do you communicate with a pyro team before your show or during rehearsal and say like, hey, around 20 to 25 minutes, I'm dropping this track and then you like, is there any type of coordination?
Yeah.
Or are they just really fucking good at what they do?
They're really good at just pressing that button and then,
on cue, on key. Because sometimes you'll drop a beat.
Like,
sometimes you'll drop a beat and it's like, wah, bum, bum. You know what I mean? Like there's a glitch before.
The science behind it is you take your finger and you go like, and then and then like that's it. Yeah. It takes years of training. You actually do need I believe you do need I know for lasers.
There's a license for it.
For lasers there's definitely a license because you could just blind people with that.
And there's a union for the fire. Because I worked in film production.
You've done your research. Okay, there you go.
And I'm gonna need fire one day, so I gotta get my fire license.
You definitely do. But no, I mean like there will be like certain cues in my set where like if I play like a song that I think is really important or one of my bigger songs, I guess I'll be make sure you hit that shit like then. But then the rest of the set is just like just kind of like pepper it in whenever you feel like
cool.
Right on. It's as dialed in as you want it to be, I should say.
Right.
Yeah.
What about your graphics? Like what's playing on the visualizers behind?
Same thing. Like I have general visuals that like can be used for like whatever song that's playing at the current time. And then I have like very song specific visuals, and like you can also like there's a way to time code that shit, so like
cool
but you have to have the right equipment for it basically. But like when you're playing, when you just hit play, it's like already synced up like no matter what.
And the visuals
especially if you have like people that have songs like that are like big lyric songs, like you want the lyrics like
or like a super catchy hook that everybody loves.
You want to sing along with it. So like
that's
you can
cool.
dial it in like that.
Did you ever do vocals on anything? Have you ever like performed vocally?
A lot of people don't know this. I've done vocals on like so many of my songs. Like,
really?
Like Deep Down Low is me.
Oh no shit! Because I saw Ricky Nitty Gritty. He was posting on his story the other day about how his vocals are on a couple of his tracks.
He's really talented like that too.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. I mean, it saves you the whole step and process.
The song we did together, Your Body, me and Nitty Gritty, that's both of our voices.
Your Body. Yeah. Oh no shit. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Yeah,
he did more of the vocals on that though, I think. Yeah,
that's fun. That's really cool. It's my dream to do vocals on a song like that, where I just can say like one silly phrase.
That's literally my fucking career, man.
That's so cool.
Like honestly, bro, like I'm just like that's what I'm doing.
Like Aristotle's I Eat Ass. That song, that's a banger, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he really just thought about what he was mostly passionate about and put pen to paper. I'm sure there was a couple of like many redrafts on that vocal. It's like, how do
I eat ass.
Yeah,
I eat ass.
That's not it.
No, that's not the cadence. Hang on.
Yeah. It's a lot of. I would love it to just go into like the raw audio file. There's hear all the different takes. Yeah,
of him saying I eat ass.
Yeah, and him just like I'm just imagining him like just losing his shit and be like, "Fuck!" Like I know this is gonna work. I just can't.
I know it's ass.
Yeah,
I know it's but the eat. It's
Yeah.
all in the eat.
Yeah.
This is Blake Weber has a song called "I Eat Ass."
What's
if
the
you guys
song?
want to go
What's
check
the
it out.
song about?
I think it's about it's a metaphor
Yeah.
and a meditation on the intersection of feminism and toxic masculinity in relation to the new age of neoliberalism.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a comment on that.
I've heard all those buzzwords before, honestly, and all of them are my favorite.
Yeah.
So that's why I like the song. So
I love the song, yeah,
too.
because it really brings to light some major issues in gender equality.
Sure.
So just every buzzword I try to put in.
Yeah.
How did the pandemic affect you in 2020?
It was really, obviously it's been a terrible thing for everybody. But I think for me it was a test. Not to make the pandemic all about me.
No, dude, that's what this is.
But
that's exactly what this is.
It's a test for a lot of people to see, like, well, how are you going to stay afloat? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And
what are you going to do?
A lot of people, I'm sure maybe some people have tuned into these, but like it was like live streaming, like because no one could.
Oh, did you do some streams?
Oh yeah, I was doing them like almost every week for a while, and then I started to kind of pick my spots a little more, make them a little more special and stuff, and like. A lot of it was just like I was just doing it out of my living room at first, you know what I mean? And like still just finding it was weird because like I there's no one no crowd in the room with me, but I'm still like communicating with people that are in the chat room and all that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Did you light candles instead of have fire?
Yeah, that was like the compromise that I had to make, and that was the hardest part of it.
Two sparklers right in front of your desk.
Was having to like, you just had to bite the bullet, and but yeah, and I bought like I didn't know I set everything up myself, and I didn't know shit about like any of that streaming stuff, and like
you had to pivot, huh?
Yeah, and you just bought like a pull up green screen, and honestly like, most of that stuff I didn't even get paid for. It's just a way to like
stay sharp,
stay with the it's not really staying sharp, it's more just staying connected with like your fan base, and like, and honestly it was just fucking boring a lot of times. It was like the only like I was doing them on Tuesdays, right? Yeah, I was doing them on Tuesdays, so it'd be kind of a thing you were looking forward to. And then like I'm just drinking like on Cinco de Mayo I did one, and I made a michelada, and I was just drinking a michelada the whole time.
Oh, you love micheladas?
I do, yeah.
What is it? Tomato juice and beer?
It's like it's usually like clamato juice.
Clamato juice. Oh, because that has clam juice in it.
It does, yeah.
I'm allergic to clams.
Oh damn!
I can't have a michelada.
No, you can just sub. I mean,
I could sub something for the clam juice.
V8 instead. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right. I can do that.
And then, I kind of try to model mine after like the Dodgers games.
Oh, the Dodger game micheladas?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Really good. Have you had one?
I haven't had one there. I've been scared.
You can't.
Because I can't. Yeah, I can't do it.
Is it like throat close
I
up?
used to have, I used to eat clams every summer when I went back east to visit family. And I never used to get an allergic reaction. But then I got my blood tested when I was 13. And the doctor was like, hey, man, you can't be eating clams. If you have one bad clam, you seize up and die. And I was like,
bad, yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, hey, man, I've been eating clams.
Yeah.
So
I took an allergy test once, and I said I was allergic to sweet potatoes, and I'm like,
sweet potatoes?
Yeah, but I'm like,
who's allergic to sweet potatoes?
I don't know. That's
crazy.
That's got to be a false positive because I've been eating sweet potato fries my whole life. I'm like,
yeah, no, that's some tricky shit. They're trying to catch you there, dude.
I think they felt bad that they couldn't find anything. Like, here's something.
Give them sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
Let's take sweet potatoes out of this guy's life.
He doesn't look like a sweet potato guy. Like he's not gonna miss him. Yeah. So I think that's what happened.
During the pandemic, did producing slow down at all, just like generally in the industry?
Some people, I think some people took it as a vacation. I think that was kind of the wrong mindset to have because like, especially with how fast paced this industry moves, it's like you take 2 weeks off, people forget about you.
Yeah.
It's not just this industry. It's just like people's like mindsets now. It's just there's so many
there's so much
distractions.
stuff.
There's just stuff. Yeah, there's
so
just,
much stuff.
Even like television now, it's just like God. Everybody's just there's just like a new show.
Yeah,
that you're supposed to be watching like every week.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's crazy.
Yeah.
What's the last show you watched?
Barry.
Barry's so good.
Bill Hader show.
That's great. That's a great show.
Yeah.
Have you seen Handmaid's Tale?
No,
Phenomenal.
I haven't seen like anything.
See, people ask me about shows, and I always say no, but I have like 2 or 3
that and
that
like,
I lock into.
That Righteous Gemstones right now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Which
too.
will be coming back. I think all the shooting schedules got fucked up with. Yeah, so probably I think it's probably coming back next year.
Yeah,
same
that's
thing
so
with Barry. Yeah,
dude, Danny McBride is so funny.
He's one of my heroes.
He's my
man.
favorite.
It's
yeah.
like Eastbound and Down is my favorite television.
Yeah,
show
we were talking
of all
about that
time.
last time, dude. Oh my god,
my
it is
favorite
so
TV
well
show
done.
ever.
It's the last TV show that just did not give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't know if
about
you
anything
could still
except
do
comedy.
that show.
Absolutely not.
Now, yeah.
No chance.
It's
Which is
so
crazy
good.
because it was only, what was it, 10 years ago?
Yeah, which it seems more recent, but that's just because I still like marathon and binge it on YouTube, like just the clips and stuff. Yeah,
man, so funny, dude.
So
I
good.
met Danny McBride once.
Oh, really?
So in college, he did a movie with James Franco called Your Highness.
Yeah,
remember that?
That's the one I still haven't seen, but I heard it's hilarious.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
It's like a stoner comedy,
Yeah.
right? And they did this nationwide contest where whichever school got the most amount of votes would get a free premiere, would get like the Hollywood premiere.
Oh, wow.
And I was at UC Santa Barbara at
That's
the time.
actually pretty smart because it's like a stoner comedy. So yeah, why
So
not
smart.
Get
yeah,
like a bunch of
get
college
all
kids.
the kids
Yeah.
involved. And then, of course, they ended up taking it to a bunch of other schools too.
Yeah.
But our school won the main
Yeah. So you
thing.
got to see it first.
So we got to see it first, and we had this huge Hollywood
So
premiere.
it's literally the premiere.
It's
at
the
your
Hollywood
school.
premiere. Yeah, red carpet through the quad, limos all over
that's
campus.
pretty
It was
awesome.
nuts, dude. And I was in the film department at the time. I was a senior.
Oh, nice.
So I had I had a couple different ins.
Yeah,
so I like
access
knew
to-
what
yeah.
was going on. The department liked me. I was friends with everybody.
Yeah.
So I knew we could volunteer to work the thing because there was a limited amount of people that would be let in to the screenings. So I volunteered to work it. I requested to work the green room as like a green room assistant.
Right.
And they put me in the green room, and in walks Danny McBride and like some chick, and then James and he's like cool. He's like, "What's up, guys? How you doing? Hey, what's up?" Just chill. Danny McBride vibes.
Yeah.
And then James Franco walks in with a disposable camera, and he takes a picture of me right there. And then he doesn't look at me. He scrubs the picture, and then he takes one of that person over there. And then he looks at this guy. He just smiles like a weird James Franco smile. And I was like, what the fuck was that? What is he gonna do with my picture? You know what I mean?
Who knows?
So James Franco has a picture of me on a Kodak
that you've never
that I've
still
never seen.
Had to receive.
So they're in the green room talking, and Danny McBride, there's like fruit and shit. And Danny's like, "Hey, should we throw strawberries at people?" And James was like, "What?" And Danny was like, "Yeah, come on, let's fucking do it." And so when it's their turn to go on stage, they took like a handful of strawberries and they're just throwing them at people from the stage. It was hilarious. They play the movie. They come back to the green room, and I'm right outside. The door's open, and I can hear them talking. And they're like, "Hey, so the after party's at the Bacara. It's at the Bacara. It's down at the Bacara." I keep hearing the word Bacara.
What's that? Is that?
And
nightclub?
it's a resort in Santa Barbara. It's like a really fancy hotel resort where all the celebrities go to like vacation.
Wait, so
and
did
shit.
you go to UCSB?
Yeah.
Of course they won the
Yeah.
fucking the stoner.
Of course.
Contest.
Of course they did. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's all we do there is party.
Yeah.
So I kept hearing Bacara. They leave. I immediately call my boy, Parker. I was like, "Hey, dude, we're going to the Bacara. Put on your best flannel shirt and ripped jeans. We're going to the Bacara." I picked him up.
Was your friend Larry the Cable Guy?
No, he's just a random 21-year-old.
Okay.
21-year-old white guy in Santa Barbara. There's no other. You're not allowed to wear anything
You can
besides
only-
flannel or tank
It's like
top.
the school uniform, basically.
It is
Okay,
100%. So we pull up to the Bacara. There's a bunch of like Lamborghinis and Mercedes, all these crazy cars, and I'm in a Hyundai Sonata with a broken taillight.
Fire.
And the guy came up, the valet came up, and he was like, "Hey, what are you guys here for?" And I was like, "We're here for the Universal party, the Universal movie film, Universal Pictures." I think I said it like that. I
Yeah,
said
yeah.
it literally like that. And he was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, just give me the keys. You guys
Like,
can head on
you
down."
know the production company you
Yeah,
get in?
yeah.
You know the name of it?
Dude, we walked down into like the lower level banquet room. There's beautiful catering. There's a million bottles of fancy champagne.
Yeah.
All kinds of Hollywood. Harvey Weinstein's fucking some dude in the corner. Like real Hollywood
Was
stuff
Harvey
going
Weinstein
on.
really there?
I don't remember. I don't think so. but I didn't know who he was at the time,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't have been able to know.
I just remember seeing the Weinstein Company thing, and I was like, oh, they make a bunch of movies I like, not knowing, like, oh my God, like,
yeah, dude,
this guy's a fucking piece
I
of
saw
shit.
that on a movie I watched the other night. It was the Weinstein Company logo that popped up in the
it was like
pre-credits.
pretty much all the, I mean,
And I was like,
Tarantino, yeah, all of like the Tarantino movies.
Yeah, you can't take him down, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, okay, we walk down to the banquet.
I don't know, yeah.
We walk into the banquet room. We see James Franco and Danny McBride.
Yeah.
Off in the corner, hanging out with people. We wait like an hour. We're way too nervous. All we wanted to do was get a photo. We wanted to crash the party and get a picture with the guys.
Yeah.
And so we order from the open bar 2 shots of tequila for James Franco and Danny McBride. And then I think James Franco got up and left before the tequila got to the table.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we're taking a bunch of shots because it's all open bar. We're 21. And then the shots get to Danny McBride, and the server's like, yeah, it's from those guys over there. And we're like, hey, hi. And we walk over to him, and he was like, you motherfuckers. And we were like, hey, can we take a shot,
That's
dude?
a
Sorry, we
pretty good Danny
stalked you.
McBride impression, yeah.
Hey, you motherfuckers. and he was like, yeah, fuck it. And we all took the shot, and he took pictures with us, and he was flipping off the camera. And he was just the nicest guy.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And then, of course, we took a bunch of free snacks in a napkin, wrapped it up, took it home,
What were the
and
snacks?
ate it.
Do you remember?
A lot of cookies, a lot of chips, and like pita chip type snacks. And then I think there were a few finger sandwiches that were
cool.
that saved us like $8.
I always have like sandwiches on my rider, and I never ever eat them.
Really?
I did the other day, actually.
Do you put sandwiches on your rider for like green room setup?
Yeah, and I never eat them.
Do you specify the type of sandwich?
No, but I should.
You just say sandwiches?
Yeah, I just
Wait, but then you
fresh
could have just a mystery sandwich.
No, they're usually labeled. and honestly, like,
Wait, what if they bring you like a weird peanut butter jelly and just put it on a plate?
I mean, it's peanut butter jelly. How do you fuck up peanut butter jelly? Like,
Okay, so your rider literally just says sandwiches?
I think it says like just like decent sandwiches, but in fancier wording, basically. Just like, yeah.
Okay.
Just like
That's so funny,
like
dude.
edible sandwiches, I think is what it says. Yeah.
What's the best sandwich that you've walked into in a green room?
Honestly, probably a club sandwich.
Yeah, like a nice one.
It doesn't really get better than that.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like moist.
Like a
They're
little
like
moist.
wrapped in saran wrap. Like,
Sure.
they're very gas station quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have anything else on your rider?
Yeah, I think the weirdest thing I have on my rider is a fake autograph picture of Jeff Goldblum.
Do you really?
I really do.
Do you get that at every show?
Usually if they're like very enthusiastic.
Do you take it home with you too?
I have before. One time they gave me like a big. I was in Vietnam, and they gave me a big like mural of Jeff Goldblum.
No way.
Like this big.
Did you keep it? Did you bring it back somehow?
I think my tour manager lost it. I think
man.
he like left it in the hotel room, or maybe I do have it. I don't know.
That's so funny.
I should start hanging him up though.
Yeah, you got to make a wall of Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Fake autographs.
At first I was gonna really request a real autograph picture, but then I was like,
show.
that's a lot on the promoter, and it's a lot on Jeff Goldblum.
It's
too,
a lot on
think
Jeff
about how
Goldblum.
many shows I play, and he has to just be like,
and
again
this
for
Valentino
him,
guy,
yeah,
he's doing too well.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, Jeff Goldblum is trying to tear down your career so that he doesn't have to sign any more pictures for you.
Exactly. It's just a big suck on his time.
Yeah. I only have one thing on my rider, and it says no Dasani water.
That is a great thing.
That's the only thing on my rider.
I would honestly rather someone poison me than give me Dasani.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that? It was a picture during the pandemic. Because remember everyone was hoarding water.
Yeah.
And it's every kind
all
of
the
water.
Dasani.
And all the Dasani is just
it's
completely
still there.
untouched. Yeah.
Dude, even if people would rather die than drink Dasani. I don't know how it's still a product.
If I was in a desert and I was just like crawling and I'm seeing mirages and shit, if I saw a Dasani mirage, I'd be like, I'm gonna just turn around.
You turn around and go the other way.
No, not that way. Yeah,
dude, it's toilet water.
It honestly tastes bitter.
It's gross. It's weird. Like,
I hope there's no reps from the Coca-Cola company that's listening to this.
I mean, if there are, hey, fix your fucking water, dude. What are you doing? You guys have billions of dollars.
Get your shit together. Yeah, like there's other water sources that we have not tapped into.
Right. You're already poisoning us with Coca-Cola. You really don't have to poison us with water.
Yeah.
Also, you know what I mean?
Water's just like, how do you even advertise that? Like, how do you sell that to someone?
I don't know. And it's on every flight.
Well, it's at a lot of the airport, like the Hudson News places.
Yeah.
And there was a time where like certain ones they would have I probably have a deal with just Dasani.
Yeah.
And there was just a fridge full of fucking Dasani, and no one would. And
no one wanted.
I have to. But that's the one thing I have to have a bottle of water on a plane.
Do you carry one like this?
No,
because then you can fill it up at the thing.
At the what?
At the little the sink on the wall.
Airport rest stop?
Yeah. the little wall urinal. It pisses out water, you know?
Yeah,
you
but
put it under the thing.
That's like just as bad as Dasani.
I think it's a little better. I think it's a little better because it's filtered. It's filtered.
I try to drink spring water only.
I think it's.
I don't know about you, but my body's
my
body's my temple.
So That's true. That's true.
I know, but like,
it's not spring water.
No,
but it's not Dasani.
No, I gotta. So now they have like smart water and some other shit. But yeah, there was a time where they only had Dasani. I was just like, ugh.
Yeah. Have you ever had alkaline water?
Yeah. Does that really do anything though?
I don't know. You know, when I feel
like fucking Mark Wahlberg is telling us that shit, and we're just taking it at face value. Just
anything Wahlberg says, we do.
I was like, how do you know this water's good? It's like Mark Wahlberg.
I'm Mark Wahlberg. Hey, come on. I when I was working at Kobe's camp, this woman was there hawking alkaline water to us like every day. She was one of the coaches.
Good for like your pH balance, right?
Yeah. So we drank like a gallon a day for one of the days, and it definitely cleansed us. And there was like I was peeing the whole day. It made me poop like 5 times.
That's fire.
So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I know there's an attachment you can get for your sink, but I don't have the right kind of sink, so I can't get it. But there is, the day I have a grown man sink, I will get one of those things where you can just put the hose and then you turn your sink on and the water goes through the pump and then back out.
It is weird. I went to your bath. You do have kind of like a child's sink.
I do.
You kind of have a step up to get up there. Yeah. It's way below you. It's kind of weird.
It is. And then there's a Dr. Seuss painting right next to it.
Yeah, there actually is.
There is, for sure. It says the places you'll go or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to keep people motivated.
It's inspiring. I was just about to say it's inspiring.
It's inspiring.
Yeah. I was like taking a piss and I just looked up and I was like, never really thought about it that way. Didn't think now was.
I'm inspired by Dr. Seuss.
If you can leave the bathroom and be like, I learned something.
And do something with your life that's important after you
other than
leave Brent's bathroom.
That's what it's about.
That's a big thing, dude.
It's a big thing.
When you're sitting down to make a track, how do you dip into your creative state? Like, do you just kind of go for it and say, fuck it? Do you like take inspiration? Do you write down notes and look at your notes for like guidance?
Not really.
What's your
it's kind of random at times, and I'll have moods that I'm kind of in. I can't explain it. I'm just feeling in a creative mood basically. And then I think just for me it's funny because I think a lot of people make music like songwriters and stuff based on their emotions at the time. I've always been a very like like I'd rather be in a clear mindset when I'm going in there and like and be more like mathematical about it, honestly, in my approach. So
cool.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of like the anti of everybody else that like is like I was feeling sad, so I went to the piano to write, which is like typical artist, but like I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. And then
maybe I'm just like a sociopath or something.
No, you're like a Dexter. Yeah. You're the Dexter of DJs.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, if I use this sound, it'll make me even more money. It's like,
But you can do that though too.
That's do that. People, it's a whole other ball game. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you're playing, what percentage are you freestyling versus pre-planned? I get asked this question too for stand-up, but I'll answer after you.
You do have to, I think probably same thing with stand-up. You do have to do a certain amount of reading the crowd. Mm-hmm. Like the other night I was playing in like Ohio and I was like, man, they really want like way more like aggressive shit. So I just kind of took a diversion and went off into some like more, aggressive sounding music. But like, I'm sure it's the same way doing stand-up where you're just like, man, they really love these.
They responded well to the dick joke.
I was just about to bring up dick jokes.
Yeah. But that's a real thing,
It's a real thing.
People will shy away from politics. Some people will be on board for politics.
Some people make whole skits about dick jokes.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, some people have a big fat dick coming out as an NFT.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm stoked for that. That's gonna be fun. By the time this comes out, I think it'll be out. Go purchase the NFT dick.
Yeah. It's
How do you read a crowd that's 10,000 people, bro? How do you do that?
how much they're moving, kind of like.
Yeah,
you kind
of feel a vibe as existential as that is, or is it more
it's
like
more like it's just kind of a sea of people and a body of people, and you just like kind of see. Yeah, exactly like that.
Okay.
I just do like that, and then I'm like, are they doing this too? Yeah.
Okay, let me do this faster. Like, now are they doing it?
Night at the Roxbury.
Right.
Just like, yeah. It's kind of like my barometer.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because you gotta. So you feel the crowd, but you do have probably a couple of like backbone tracks that could potentially pop off,
especially if it's like
in the moment.
If it's like your show and it's not like people are there to see you, like then you're like, yeah. Especially when you play your own songs, like typically, like you're like, okay. They should, in theory, like these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep, totally.
And I mean, you've been playing like, if a song makes its way into your set, you've been playing, like you've been doing that over and over. Sometimes you've been like figuring out the best way to even like incorporate it in, and like you're like, it's had a proven track record of success.
Yeah.
And like same thing with a joke where you're like, oh, this bit I do like kills.
I'll try some new stuff for a few minutes, and if it starts going south or people are a little too chill for me,
is there a way
I can bring in a heater?
Is there a way you can like, do you kind of abridge if you're like, yeah, this isn't working? Is there a way like you just like can abridge it and be like, I can quickly wrap it up and get to the punchline? Like,
yeah.
How do I like
if a piece isn't going as well
instead of going from A, B to C, you're like, oh, this like maybe it shouldn't linger on B and get to some
100%.
Like you can just go from A to C and kind of like
that's a big improv thing.
Yeah,
that's a very in the moment. Okay, I'm always thinking like 2 minutes ahead, right, of where I want to be.
Yeah, in
my brain while my mouth is actually talking, so it's like a weird. Split personality
thing.
You're
like timing it and pacing it.
Pacing it, moving, and like in whatever character I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
But then on the opposite side of that is I can find myself at that B point on the A, B to C scale and stretch it to be a big old B.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I've done that before, and that's actually my favorite because that happens.
You're like, I know this
is so unpredictable.
It's working.
Yeah. And you get to play. It's like, for me, I get to play there. Like that's if I was doing a joke about, what's a good example that's appropriate? I was doing a joke about like, I guess cocaine is appropriate. So I was doing a joke about cocaine, and I just kept like pushing and going, and I was in this like character that was one of my buddies at a house party that was like pitching business ideas to people. Yeah, that's all you do when you're on cocaine.
Yeah. Oh,
right. And so the audience was like so on board and loving it.
Yeah.
That if I had just gone to C. Maybe they would have been fine with knowing that, okay, it's time to be done now. But I knew that they would have even more fun if I stretched.
You can push it a little further.
And I kept pushing. I kept going.
Improv a few more business ideas they're pitching or some
new
shit
business
like that.
ideas. Right. How do we finance this company and get a third round of investor on the, and meanwhile, every 10 seconds. So like that in that moment, it's really fun and creative. Yeah. And a lot of times that can lead me to like a video idea, because I take a lot of the shit I do on stage and I try to put it into a video concept.
I think I know
and vice
that.
Versa.
Is it like the you only sleep 4 hours a day video?
Those people, yep.
Yeah, I just watched it the other day and it was really funny.
Oh, thanks, dude. That was fun.
Yeah, I never met her. I was that girl, Nikki Howard.
Yeah, she's
really
great.
Funny.
She's great. Yeah.
She plays like crazy eye characters really well.
Yeah,
I've noticed.
Yeah, she's
exactly
crazy.
like that.
I do too. I think that's why we get along so well.
Yeah.
So we could both just be psychos at the same time.
Like the AOC one.
The AOC one's so fun. Oh my god, that's so fun.
Her impression was pretty funny.
When I asked her if she could do that, she was kind of hesitant, and I had the whole sketch
written.
People
really love AOC.
People love AOC.
Yeah.
She wasn't even hesitant in the sense of like she didn't want to make people mad.
Oh.
She was hesitant because she's never really done impressions before.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, dude, you will murder this.
Yeah.
And as soon as she did it, I was blown away. I thought it was the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. So I love seeing people do fun stuff like in the moment like that. So it's cool. Which is why I love seeing you jump all around.
Yeah.
And jump on stage and shit and go wild. I think that's so fun.
I think it's like I'm trying to incorporate just like saying more random shit into the mic too. Like
yeah.
Especially just like given like the circumstances of just like if I see something fucking funny during the set or like, it's it's fun when it becomes a little less like routine.
Yeah.
And monotonous.
So like, give me an example of something, because obviously there's the countdowns, there's the call outs, like put your hands out, whatever. There's the like key
it's
ones.
really tough counting to 3 every night. It's just like
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go.
I forget. Like I forget the sequence of the numbers sometimes.
Sure.
But yeah, that's why they pay me the big bucks, honestly.
Right. Hell yeah, baby.
Yeah. Kids, if you just put in the work,
you'll be able to count to 3.
I'm living proof of it, honestly. Yeah. But no, I would say I don't know, I'll just go there because you kind of alluded to it. The craziest shit I've seen at a show that's actually funny, because you got a big fucking wolf on your, this is kind of a spoiler to the story. You got a big fucking wolf that I'm staring right at. It looked just like that, honestly. We'll get some B-roll of the wolf. So
we'll throw the wolf. Well, it's behind me. You guys can see it.
Yeah, I think you have like a fisheye on that thing.
They got it in that one, yeah.
All right. Yeah, the technology. So I'm playing in San Francisco, Northern California, and then my God.
There's a lot of traffic. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm playing in Northern California. It sounds like an emergency. You don't want to go check?
Yeah, I think they'll be okay. Yeah, it's Venice.
Yeah, that's what we pay our firemen and paramedics for.
Our first responders.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Even though you're fucking up my story right now, but I'm trying to tell a story about DJing, which is pretty important. So, I'm playing in Northern California, and it's a crazy show. People are like, it turns into one of those shows where people just like get on. This is like earlier in my career, so like there's like you're playing like the more ratchet venues, a little less security. People just come on stage and are like dancing and like spilling drinks everywhere. It's getting crazy, and all of a sudden, I see this guy walking through the crowd, and he's kind of like slowly, he's just like parting the Red Sea like Moses. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And I'm like, wait a minute. This guy has got a giant like wolf dog on his shoulders, and he's just coming from the back of the crowd directly, just slowly, like very like mythologically walking toward the stage. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I just like rewind it to stop the music. I'm like, this guy's got a fucking wolf on his shoulders.
Wait, was it a real animal?
It was just a real dog.
Holy shit.
And he just brought also I failed to mention that the wolf had a sequin dress on. And then if you scroll way back on my Instagram, dude. If you really want it for context, I can find it. But like, this guy brings a fucking wolf on stage, and then he just starts like bouncing and dancing with the wolf, in a sequin dress. And I'm like, how the fuck did this guy get a wolf into the club? And I asked like the hospitality girl like later, was like, how did you guys let him in? He's like, I don't know. He said it was like a service animal. I'm like,
what?
You don't even put a fucking
that's a monster.
Service animal on your shoulders either. Like,
that's insanity.
And then I asked the guy. The guy got on stage, and I don't know. He like somehow walked on the stage with a giant fucking dog on his shoulders. And then we go like, I was like, dude, what's up with the dog? And he's like, she's a burner, man. Like,
my God.
She comes to like Burning Man with me. She comes to all the shows with me, man.
Oh, my God.
I'm just like, that dog, there's no way that dog could hear.
Not a chance.
There's no way.
No chance.
We're just sad, but like,
yeah.
You're just bringing maybe that's why the dog can't hear. So
right.
Just taking the dog clubbing on Saturday nights, I guess.
That's so wild, dude.
It was fucking weird, dude.
Were people like cheering for the guy with the dog?
Yeah. I mean,
they must have been flipping out.
How often do you get to see that?
A wolf with a sequin dress?
Yeah, it wasn't like any sort of dog. It was like a fucking, like if you were like ice fishing in like Alaska, you'd want to be you'd want to be rescued by that kind of dog.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
A fucking wolf with a sequin dress.
Yeah, it was a pink sequin dress.
We'll scroll back on your Instagram. We'll do an overlay for that.
It's probably like 2013, so it's going to take a lot of thumbing through, but I'll find it, yeah.
Okay, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to go shoot around?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a little time. How do you think the Lakers are going to do this season, bro?
I think people were very skeptical once we had Russell Westbrook and LeBron and AD and like, oh, where's the spacing? Well, we signed Carmelo, Kent Bazemore, Kendrick Nunn, Malik Monk's a great shooter.
Huge, yeah.
So
Malik spreads the court.
They signed a bunch of guys that can space it. Brought back Dwight Howard and got DeAndre Jordan just now, which is great because I feel like we missed having that like playoffs are all about matchups. So it's like we could against a team like the Nuggets, when we had Dwight and Dwight gave Jokic some problems because AD could guard Jokic on certain possessions, but like Dwight really had the physicality to match up with a big dude like that and a big skilled dude.
Yeah.
Got under his skin a couple times. You know what I mean? You need that in the playoffs. And I feel like we missed that JaVale and Dwight rotation where we had the option to go to those guys. And then when we went against Houston, they didn't even play because we realized, okay, we got to go small to match up with those guys. Like we had Markieff Morris, who like basically slid over to the 5, or you could say AD was playing at the 5, whatever. But like you could go small, and then if they're swinging the ball around the perimeter, you can just rotate, and like I feel like we have the versatility now to do that. The one thing I kind of wish they acquired is a guy like a Markieff, like a stretch 4, which I guess Carmelo kind of has become a 4 now, the way he played with the Blazers, where he typically was like a small forward. Yeah. But like, I think that's the one thing I was like, maybe there's a little bit of a hole, but like, I don't know. It's like, knock on wood with the health, I think we'll be in good shape.
Knock on wood, these senior citizens don't start getting injured.
But it's funny.
But it's funny. They get stigmatized as that, but they're still at the top of their game in an unbelievable way.
Remember, everybody forgets about like how old the Spurs were and they just kept
winning.
You need that experience.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw, especially with like, I remember like a great example is like the 2008 Lakers when we lost to the Celtics, and it was like really Kobe was the only guy that had gone deep in the playoffs before. Even Lamar Odom had only been No, they won a series in Miami, so they went to the second round. So Lamar Odom had only been in the second round. Pau Gasol I don't think he'd have won a playoff game before that.
Yeah.
And then you had like Sasha Vujacic and all these other guys on the team that just didn't have the experience. They didn't understand, especially going up against that Boston team was so fucking physical.
Yeah.
Probably the last bad boy type team that we'll ever see with the way they call fouls now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And Boston was just, they bullied us. I remember Kendrick Perkins, they just punked the front court, especially. And Bynum was hurt. Everybody forgets Bynum and Ariza were hurt. So we kind of lost like that really good wing defender to guard Paul Pierce. I think we had Radmanovic guarding Paul Pierce, and like that wasn't going to work ever. Yeah. And then, so we had, we got punked. And like, I remember, there's actually a famous video in practice of Kobe, like I think it was after that playoffs. Like he really had to like be like, you all need to get into my mindset. And that was making your teammates better is not just about making the right pass. It's also about
getting everybody on the same frequency
mentally, like
behaving the same way.
Like the only guy that really was like on the same wave as Kobe always was like Derek Fisher, and that's how Kobe, he knew it. Like I can rely on him day in and day out to like, you're going to show up. And then like, Powell even like, he always had to like kind of prod and stuff. And like even Phil had to do the Zen mastermind games and shit. But like, and then they came back the next year. Well, the next year we didn't play them in the finals. We played Orlando because Garnett got hurt. And, but even during the regular season, we remember the Christmas game, we were like, we ain't no bitch anymore. Like we're going to come back at you guys. And then 2010, even that series, there were ups and downs where like, I think after game 5, it's like Kobe comes in the locker room. He's like, who the fuck is going to like stand with me and like actually like fight back? And then they win game 6 in LA, win game 7. I cried at the end of that game. Yeah. That was so, oh my God. That was such a fucking, and then
you're a Laker diehard.
Diehard.
You're a diehard Laker. I'm still considered a newish Laker fan because I'm not super because I grew up with the Kings, so I was always a player fan growing up.
But
right?
Who were you rooting for in 2002?
Sacramento.
Oh, you were?
Oh yeah, no, I was, dude. I was 12. I was 12 years old.
Oh, you must
living in Sacramento.
Crushed.
Oh, of course.
That was the best for me.
Of course,
been crushed.
But then I learned about Tim Donaghy, and then I got like really upset years later. Granted, whatever.
All right, if Tim Donaghy is gonna tell you which games they fucked around with, he's not gonna tell you the real ones because if he does,
True. Until it get fucking nutted.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I grew up, and even prior to 2002, when the Kings were trash in the 90s, I would go to those games just for whoever was coming to town. I got Shaq's autograph on a ball out there.
Yeah.
I got Derek Fisher's. Vince Carter, I saw him come when he was on the Raptors, right? LeBron when he was on the Cavs, like very early on.
I think that was his first game.
Turned me into
his first game
was in Sacramento.
Was in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm. His first shot was a dunk.
Yeah.
I wasn't at that game.
Wasn't it like a reverse dunk or something?
Yeah, it was some cool shit. It was just like set the tone for his career, which is pretty cool. But yeah, dude. Okay, if we want to go put up shots, we got to go now. So tell people where to find you on everything.
At Valentino Khan on all social media platforms. Khan. Everybody fucking misspells it. That's how it always humbles me. It's like when I see my name like misspelled on like a green room sign, I'm like,
it's good. That's what you want. You should put that on your writer. You should put
please
spell my name wrong and also
keeps
sandwiches.
Me hungry, yeah. We got to do a whole podcast just about basketball, honestly.
Oh, 100%. I would love to. Yeah. Once the season starts, we should go to some games.
Yes.
And then come back and recap the games.
I'm down. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Valentino, everybody. See ya.
Yeah.
And that's it, dude. Valentino Khan, bro. Go see him live. If you like to party, go listen to his music. If you like to party, put Valentino Khan in your life, okay? You will not regret it, all right? Go follow him, check out his music, and check out magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella. Shout out to the sponsor, baby. We keep it real, okay? Guys, hey, we're having a good time here, all right? There's a lot of weird shit going on in the world, but we get through that shit with happiness and house music, okay? All right, I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.